distinguished guests, friends, and fellow citizens. In our journey to understand the forces that shape our lives, we have previously looked at the dark shadow of fascism, an ideology that seeks to crush the individual into a rigid, unbreakable bundle. But today we turn our gaze toward a system that is equally invisible, yet arguably more pervasive, the global financial system. We live in an era of digital numbers, central banks, and complex debt. To many, it feels like a cold, mechanical monster, one that is broken beyond repair. But I'm here today to suggest a different perspective. I want to talk to you about why our systems are flawed, why they are designed that way, and why the discovery of a flaw is not a signal for despair, but a call to the highest human merit, the act of fixing. The nature of fiat, money built on faith. To understand where we are, we must understand the very nature of the currency we hold. We live under a system of fiat currency. The word fiat is Latin for let it be done. Unlike the gold standard of the past, your money has no intrinsic value. It is not backed by bars of metal in a vault. It is backed by something far more volatile and far more precious: trust. A fiat system is a promise. It is a social contract that says, I will accept this token because I believe the state will be here tomorrow to honor it. This system allows for incredible flexibility. It allows governments to respond to crisis, to fund innovation, and to manage the supply of money to meet the needs of a growing population. However, because it is based on trust rather than physical merit limits, it is susceptible to the human flaws of greed and short-sightedness. When we see inflation or debt rising, it is easy to say the system is a failure. And we must remember that fiat was a human solution to a previous problem, the rigid, stifling limitations of gold that once crashed entire economies into depressions. We traded the safety of a cage for the risks of the open air. We moved from valuing things to valuing promises. The Chiffin dilemma, the structural trap. But there's a deeper paradox at play, a structural trap that defines our current global order. It is called the Chiffin dilemma. Since the mid-20th century, the world has relied on a single national currency, the United States dollar, as the primary global reserve currency. For the world to have enough dollars to trade, the United States must run a trade deficit. It must send more dollars out than it takes in. Here's the dilemma. To keep the global economy moving, the leader must provide liquidity, which leads to massive debt at home. But if that debt becomes too large, the world loses trust. If the leader stops providing dollars to fix its own debt, global trade grinds to a halt. This is not a mistake made by a few bad actors. It is a mathematical tension built into the very design of global trade. It reminds us that even our most sophisticated systems have bugs in the code that only become apparent over decades of use. The merit of the unwritten. The British Empire example. When we realize that our financial or political systems are imperfect, our instinct is often to panic. We demand a perfect document, a set of rules that will solve everything forever. But look at the United Kingdom. The UK is one of the few nations on earth without a single codified written constitution. To some, this seems like a recipe for chaos, but to the British tradition, it is a mark of profound humility and wisdom. It is an admission that we are human. The UK's unwritten constitution is a living collection of statutes and traditions. They realized centuries ago you cannot write a perfect set of rules today that will solve the problems of 500 years from now. By keeping the system flexible, they allow for the fix. When a law is found to be unjust, it is changed. When a system is found to be obsolete, it is evolved. This is the ultimate form of stability. not the rigidity of a stone wall which cracks in an earthquake, but the flexibility of a tree which bends in the wind. We don't need to be perfect, we need to be adaptable. The trap of perfectionism. We are currently living through a period where the cracks in our financial system, the debt. One second. Yeah. We are currently living through a period where the cracks in our financial system, the debt, the inequality, the Chiffin dilemma, are highly visible. It is easy to feel overwhelmed. It is easy to look at these issues and feel discouraged, as if our ancestors failed us or we are failing ourselves. But we must resist the urge to let these issues paralyze us. We must stop expecting our systems, our leaders, or even ourselves to be perfect. Perfection is a static state. It is a dead end. To be perfect is to have nowhere left to go. But to be human is to be in a constant state of becoming. If we demand a perfect financial system before we agree to participate in society, we will wait forever. If we demand that we ourselves be without flaw before we attempt to lead, we will remain silent. Merit is found in the fix. True merit, true character, is not found in never making a mistake. It is found in the moment of discovery, when we realize that fiat currency is being devalued, or that the Chiffin dilemma is straining global relations. That is not a moment for shame. That is a moment where we demonstrate our value. The merit of a civilization is measured by its ability to look at a broken gear in the machine, roll up its sleeves, and say, "This needs fixings. Let's get to work." We should not be discouraged by the scale of the challenge. The financial system we are under today was built by human hands, which means it can be improved by human hands. We are not victims of the system. We are the architects of its next iteration. The unwritten future. As you leave here today, I want you to carry these truths with you. Understand the system. Understand that money is a social tool, not a divine law. Understand that the pressures on our economy are structural. But most importantly, embrace the imperfection of the human journey. Do not let the complexity of global finance steal your hope. We are a species of problem solvers. We are the people who looked at the dark and created fire. The fact that our systems need fixing is not a sign of failure. It is an invitation to greatness. Like the unwritten constitution of the UK, let us remain flexible and humble. Let us find our merit, not in the absence of problems, but in our relentless, unyielding pursuit of their solutions. We do not need a perfect system to begin. We only need the courage to admit that we are wrong and the brilliance to make it right. We are not perfect. We are something much better. We are capable of change. Thank you.